Today, a great guest in-house, a cool guy I've known for a long, long time who is rich with his ability to connect up beyond when it comes to your travel. He's called the Miles Guy online, and in person, David Fleming is a master at getting you from point A to point B using the points and miles you may have already accrued. And you may have gone online and you thought you could get a ticket somewhere, and maybe you could, but you're spending so many points, you go, it's not worth it. You call Dave, and all of a sudden, bam, this has happened every single time. I'll say, hey, I want to go here. Here are all the miles I have. Here are the hotel points I have. Here are the credit card points I have. And I'll say, okay, I've got it. He takes all that, and some kind of magic happens, and this recipe comes about. And the flight I may have been, say, getting for 300,000 points in coach to, say, go to Paris, he now comes back and says something like, oh, I got the both of you in business class for 110,000 miles round trip. Is that okay? And there he is. David, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Do you feel beyond connected
I am
now?
Beyond connected.
Well, if you haven't experienced a Miles Guy before, what Dave can do is really remarkable because you do know a lot of tricks, and you're here because you promised to reveal some of the insider stuff to us to understand
It's
how
all
you're
in
doing
here.
it. Yeah, no, I think I want to just I will be honest with you. Like I commute for work from the West Coast to the East Coast on an ongoing basis and have for over 10 years. So I know people by first name at the airport, which may not be healthy, but it is what it is. And I always think I've got this worked out. I know how to use Expert Flyer. I know how to manage the website of the airline. I know how to use ITA Matrix to look at flight routing.
I think you told me about that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I still use it.
Yeah, I do too.
And they're trying to shut it down because Google bought it, and they bought the back end to that. And Google wants you to just use Google Flights.
No. They got to keep that.
They got to keep it.
It's great. I think for anyone who has points and miles, and it may be difficult for a lot of people, but the key really is to book your trip around your flights. Find the dates that have the best mileage redemptions available and book those, and let that be your guide. Now, a lot of people have professions. They can't take off work on certain days. They have strict schedules. So it's a little bit different for them, and hopefully we can find something good for them. But the biggest key, I would say, is that you want to have flexibility.
Right. Does it pain you like it does me when I'll have a friend, and because they think I know what you know and I don't, they'll come to me and say, hey, I'm trying to get to Sydney, and it's real expensive. And I'm like, I don't know, call the Miles Guy. But I'll go looking, and it will just be an enormous amount of miles. And they're like, well, it's okay. And you see somebody cash in hundreds of thousands of miles.
Gift cards and magazine subscriptions.
Oh my God. I cringe. So
I actually get a palpitation.
Do you?
I do, because I'm like, oh my gosh, no, don't.
But part of that is that the airlines have mastered tricking us into blowing all our miles and points when you don't really have to. What's the trick? Like if you said to me, aside from make your trip around the time you can get the discount, what I have learned, say post-COVID, has been, and it's just, I don't know why this works out, but it works out. And you can't do it with a whole family, but if it's just me going somewhere, I will tend to book a refundable revenue ticket as a backup for a trip.
Right.
I'll watch the inventory in, say, business class that we want to fly somewhere special like transatlantic. And I'll just, I'll see it still there as the flight gets closer and closer and closer. And then I'll continue to look and see that threshold of miles went from 380,000 ridiculous spend for one way.
Right.
And suddenly it just comes down and comes down and comes down when they're not selling the seats, to where it might even be the day before that I'll say, okay, we're now going to cash in because it's down to 80,000 miles. That's reasonable. So I'll cash it in. Is that a crazy strategy? Or
it's not a crazy strategy, but it worked a lot better several years ago. So the airlines and their frequent flyer programs went to something called dynamic pricing, which basically ties the cost of the ticket to the number of points you use. A lot of airlines have eliminated their award charts entirely. So you really don't know on a given day what the mileage will be capped at. Air France, for example, Flying Blue, I used to find things for 67,500 points one way from Los Angeles to Paris in business class. Some days you're now seeing them for 700,000 points one way.
Wow.
Which is
bananas.
So extreme. It's so extreme.
It's bananas.
It is. So a lot of times in the past, I followed your playbook, which was basically like booking something the day before or 2 days before. It's not so much that way. At least the trend I'm seeing isn't so much that way. But I like what you're saying about booking a refundable ticket, because if you book a refundable ticket, you know if something does open up, you always can cancel that refundable ticket, get your money back, and book the mileage ticket. The other thing you can do is buy a ticket that is refundable. And if a mileage ticket doesn't open up, you can see if a non-refundable ticket opens up for several thousand less, cancel the refundable, and then buy the non-refundable.
All right. So I've noticed recently a lot of international travel has, it's dipped down for people visiting the U.S., which means more seats for you and me if we want to go to fabulous places outside of the country. Is there now a pretty dependable strategy where I can book like a premium economy ticket and then hope and pray that as I'm checking in or I'm at the airport counter or even at the gate, and you told me like on Emirates, you can be on board the plane and upgrade with the employee, like the flight attendant, right?
Yeah.
But is it now a standard where you can count on getting that inexpensive cash upgrade offer at the airport?
Well, yes, but also you might have to be a little proactive and ask the gate agent or the person at the ticket counter, hey, do you have any upgrades available? And if yes, how much are they? I find, and a lot of my clients as well, have been able to upgrade at the counter for a lot less. I'll give you a perfect example. I flew to Boston last week. My friend was in economy on the plane. And the next thing I know, he's in business class. And I said, how'd you get upgraded? He said, oh, they offered it to me for $140. I'm like, they offered you a business class transatlantic flight for $140 in a flatbed seat? He goes, yeah. I go, nice score.
Yeah, but wouldn't that piss you off if you were there paying the full fare close to it?
Exactly. But if he had done it online beforehand, it would have cost him like $1,200.
Yeah.
So it was the fact that he did it at the counter that got him the deal.
Is that what the airlines are doing? The closer you get to the flight taking off and the seat sitting there, rather than give it to the frequent flyers, their loyal customers, they'll transact it for like pennies on the dollar, won't they?
Sometimes. It depends. But it doesn't hurt to ask, because you either are going to pay it or you're not.
Got it. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that they're good strategies, but I'm not hearing anything that's like guaranteed. What are some like guaranteed solid ways that I can use my miles and points and not get ripped off in the process?
I think the key really is to look and see where you want to go and to check a lot of different sites to see what the mileage amounts are. So many airlines have partners. So for example, American partners with British Airways.
Yeah, by the way, I have a pile of Avios points, miles, whatever they call them.
Yes.
I have no clue how to use them. When I log on to the BA app or website, it's so clunky and slow that I forget what I even searched for by the time the results come up, and it's never accurate. So, I mean, that's part of the problem is I don't really know what I have. I don't know. And isn't that like one of the best tips is to go figure out which credit cards you have points on? And is there some place I should be keeping that information? Or
So there are websites that allow you to store your mileage numbers and passwords, and it keeps track of them for you. But I always do it the old-fashioned way. I created a spreadsheet, which basically lists my program, American Airlines, my account number, my password, when the points expire, and how many points I have. So you do have to do a little legwork.
That's smart.
And then once you have that, you have a spreadsheet with all that information, then you know what you have to work with. So someone will come to me and say, I have this many points with this airline, this many points with this credit card. And I know really off the top of my head what you can do with those. And then I do the searching to see what is and what is not available.
Got it. So I have a trick that works for me. So I created in my phone, I created a contact called Travel Profile.
Okay.
And in that, read to everybody what you're seeing there. Not the numbers, but what I put there.
Even put your AAA card number
yes,
in there.
because sometimes
you get
there's
discounts
a deal.
at hotels.
Yes.
Exactly. Air Canada, Alamo, you're very thorough.
Every single frequent, and it's alphabetized. So I can be like checking in somewhere like, oh, wait, let me see if I have an Avis number. Oh, wait, let me see if I have.
This is awesome.
You know,
I'm still reading it.
So it's extensive.
It is extensive. But the one thing you don't have in here are the number of points you have.
No.
And remember, points do expire. So some airlines, they don't. Some airlines have changed. United, they don't expire. Delta, they don't expire. Air France, they do expire.
Does status mean anything anymore?
Unless you have the top tier status, I don't think so.
So I'm just going to be honest. Because for work, I travel across the country. Like it was every single week for years. I have the top tier status on American, Concierge Key. And there was a time where it really was cool.
Yes.
And like you felt like you were ducking in like George Clooney and they were looking after you and they
up in the air.
Up in the air. And they would still, and they still do this where there might be somebody in a city, like one of their hubs, and they'll say like, Mr. Fleming, the miles guy, would you like a ride to your aircraft from the lounge? You're like, who says no? Yeah,
exactly.
Of course I want to ride in an Escalade on the tarmac and look at the cool underbellies of planes along the way. So that kind of perk's great. And where it really used to come in handy was you would be, trying to fly and let's say there's a storm or some operational thing was happening where flights were delayed. That's where it really paid off. And you'd be able to call that number or run into somebody at the airport who was working their premium customers and just say, hey, can you help me get to Detroit or wherever you're going? And they usually would. And they'd even put you on another airline at their expense. And they really do look after you. I find that there's less of that now, sort of everywhere. Like, I also
a lot of people have status.
Yeah, and it just seems like if it doesn't feel special anymore. It doesn't feel like. I feel like this. I feel like airlines have become credit card companies, and they just happen to also fly seats around in the air. And I don't know. That took a lot of the romance and cool, fun, nostalgic thing about flying away from me. And then I'll just bitch and moan for just a second. If I hear one more credit card ad on the phone, on the plane, like, yes, I already have your credit card.
Right.
You told me about it when I got on the plane. The video I had to watch before the movie told me about it. And now you're interrupting the movie to tell me that I can get your credit card.
Right. And they also say it's enough. You'll earn enough points for 3 free flights. And it's like, yeah, if you know what you're doing, you'll find those 3 free flights.
If you're lucky, right? If it's on that day that nobody's traveling on the planet.
Or you're going to have to call me to help you find those those free flights.
What do you tell people though? Like, so for the secrets today, the inside, I mean, what really helps people?
You want me to go beyond?
Go beyond being connected here.
Okay. Firstly, you want to do research, get your paper handy with your points. Secondly, you want to check out some of the websites that are out there that help you figure out what's available. There's Expert Flyer, as you mentioned. There's Point.me. There's Award Logic. Those are some of the tools that I use. They're fantastic tools. You also don't have to use your points if it's a bad value.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to me and I'm searching for flights for them and they tell me, listen, I've got 1 million points with American Express, or I can buy the ticket for $2,000. I'm like, buy the ticket for $2,000.
Right.
Save the points.
Yeah, don't blow the points.
It just doesn't make sense.
What are points worth? Like, how do you know when you should pull the trigger and when you shouldn't?
This is a good question because the business is constantly changing. It's a puzzle, constantly changing. The rules, the number of points you need for certain things are changing. But on average, you might say that a point is worth 2 cents.
2 cents for 1 mile or 1 point?
So like 100,000 points might be $2,000.
Okay.
I think that's a fair assumption. Some people might say, well, it's worth a penny and a half. Some might say it's worth 2.5 cents. So I just I've set the goal at 2 cents a point.
Most amazing flight you've ever had?
How about showering at 38,000 feet above the UAE?
Was it Emirates?
Yes.
Wow.
It was Emirates first class.
Wow.
They give you 5 minutes in a shower. By the way, I don't think I only use about 3.5 minutes of it because I kept saying to myself like a mantra, oh my gosh, I'm flying at 38,000 feet and I'm in a shower. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
I'm in a shower, 38,000 feet, I'm flying.
What's the tech essential you got to bring on every flight?
I'm hoping my seat has a plug because something is going to need to be powered up, either my cell phone or my computer. I always bring my computer on. I'm always hoping for internet, but definitely a plug in my seat. I also bring a little bag of converters. So if I'm watching a movie, for example, and I need a specific jack that fits into my headphones, I can plug it in. Things like that.
Smart.
Yeah.
My go-to is similarly, I bring the UK converter.
Uh-huh.
Only because most of the outlets on the planes are sort of worn and your plug will sometimes fall out of it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm trying to charge my phone.
Say that because literally I could not charge my phone because it kept coming out of the plug on this flight 2 days ago I took.
So the fact is barely anyone ever uses the UK plug.
Yeah, you're right.
So when you plug your thing into there and that has a bunch of other jacks, you can plug a bunch of crap on it.
I'm bringing it. That is great. That is great.
It's the best. It used to be that I had to have like noise canceling headsets, but less is more for me. Like if I could get on the plane with nothing, that's ideal. Have you used an app called Flighty?
I haven't.
Flighty is my new favorite travel app.
Okay.
I've been using it for a couple years, so it's not that new, but it does exactly what you're saying. So here are some flights I'm tracking that are just 2 days away, and I can pick the first one. Right now, this flight, it tells you when it's going to take off and where it's going to land, and then where is my plane?
I love that. So that's brilliant.
So it says the plane that my flight's going to be using is currently in St. Louis, and there's 4 more flights before it becomes my flight. And it knows there's something with their algorithm, or it can tell when like little glitches are happening where it starts like something isn't right.
Where your plane may not make it on time?
Yeah. And then, or it may take off or may be canceled. And it'll warn you way before the airline sends you something that says like, oh, trouble in paradise.
Yeah.
So I'm
going to download it.
Yeah,
Thank you for the tip.
Okay, so I've been looking at the website celebrityprivatejettracker.com.
Oh, yeah. We interviewed the kid behind that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in Florida.
So he has been tracking private jet flights for the past 2 years and change, maybe almost 3. And I'm curious if you two can work together to guess who the top 10 biggest offenders are on the private jet leaderboard. So who, in terms of miles flown, who are the
I'll throw out a
10?
name and then you throw out a name. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, and you tell me if we're in the top 10, okay?
Are we saying it at the same time?
I'm going to go first.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to switch. Kim Kardashian.
Elon Musk.
Kim Kardashian is number 7, and Elon is number 3.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No.
Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift is not in the top 10.
And then the number 1, boy or girl?
It is a boy.
Is it a tech billionaire?
Yes.
Tech billionaire.
Larry Ellison?
No.
The Google guys?
Do you know what his name is?
Sergey?
No.
Sergey Brin? No.
Former CEO, I believe, of Google.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Eric Schmidt.
That's right. That's number 1. We can try to just do the top 5 if that's easiest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is number 2 a boy or girl?
Number 2 is a boy.
Hollywood or tech?
Tech.
Sam Altman?
No.
Bill Gates?
Bill Gates is number 2.
Oh, really? Bill Gates. Okay.
So it goes Eric Schmidt, Bill Gates, Elon. Number 4.
Reality TV or movie star? Or studio exec or something else?
Something else.
Something else.
So not movies, not reality TV.
Are they well known?
Very well known, and especially this past year for legal trouble.
Oh, Puffy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, really?
I gave it too much of a hint there. Number 5. I'm not sure if you guys would know this guy. He's a rapper as well. More famous in the last 10 years.
A rapper who's number 4 on the list.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Travis
Wow.
Scott. Yeah, that was number 5.
Kurt, how did you not know that?
David Fleming, he is called the Miles Guy, and he is beyond connected. Thanks for joining us today. We're giving free iPhones out to everybody if you can get here in 5 seconds.
Hey, Cyber Guy, it's your old friend Kathy. I've been thinking about giving the home a facelift. What new tech should I be thinking about?
Kathy, that's a great question, and that's why I'm the Cyber Guy. I've got the answers for you. Look at this monster that's on the desk. This is the E15. It's the Eufy Lawnmower, and man, the pros, the cons, it's what you want to know. You're doing something new with your house? Consider something like this. There's a stop button right here. I never want to press it. Why? Because this thing will do all the work for me. I don't have to go out and mow. Really cool is it will actually map out your lawn using the cameras that are built in with AI technology inside of it. Now, one of the cons to it is you can't use it in the dark. But do you really want to be mowing your lawn at night? No, not a good idea. What I like about this is it'll handle slopes up to 18%. And then also, if there's something left in the yard, like a tennis ball, it knows not to mow it over. It knows to go around it. At a price of about $1,600 to $1,900, it might pay off over time. One of the cool things about being the Cyber Guy is I get sent virtually every consumer electronic device, and especially devices for your home. And that's where a lot of our energy goes. We spend so much time at home and we look at what's really going to make our life better versus what's just the gimmick that's out there that doesn't really cut the mustard. Well, this thing is cutting the mustard and cleaning the floor at the same time. This is the Roborock Q-Revo Curve. This is a pretty cool thing. I've been testing it out. What I like about it is it not only empties itself, but it also is a mop in addition to being a vacuum, and the suction power on it is really, really good. I set this off across hard concrete floors, terrazzo floors. I had to go over the rugs in the house, and it got everything. Cool part of the AI technology inside of the Roborock is that it will eventually learn areas of your house, map out your house, and you could use your app to select areas you want it to clean or let it do the maintenance on its own. You just have to go to the machine ever so often to empty out the tank of the dirty water and also refill clean water, as well as get rid of the junk that it's sucking up in the vacuum portion of it. I think it is kind of pricey, but I think it's worth every penny when you realize you don't have to lug around a vacuum cleaner on your own anymore. When it comes to refreshing what's going on inside of your house, one of the great things when you're doing a renovation is looking at the light switches. And what we did is install Lutron Caseta smart dimmers in virtually every single light in the house. Why? Because not only are they really stable and they work, there's no gimmicks to them, they're solid, and you know the light's gonna go on and it's gonna behave the same way no matter what. Has a bunch of other great features, including the ability for us to literally say, Alexa, turn off all the lights. And when I say all the lights, I mean it's every single light in the house, every single light outside the house, it goes off. What does that mean? Cheaper power bill, and I'm not walking around turning off lights or wondering whether a light was left on. Lutron has been stable in the market with this thing. It's called Caseta, and that's the line that it's under. And the smart dimmers, the original one is the one I really like. All the other stuff that they've invented around it, not necessary. I like the basic, it works. We have it all throughout the house. And they have one other thing called a Pico remote. So let's say that instead of putting a three-way switch in, say your dining room, where you can walk in one door, turn on the light, and then turn it off on the other side of the room, this thing uses a three-way switch where one's the real switch, and then a Pico remote looks just like a light switch on the wall, except it's just a remote, and the battery lasts 10 years on it, and it looks gorgeous and acts just like you're pressing the normal light switch. You know, one of the biggest weaknesses when you are at home is when you go outside, your Wi-Fi network doesn't always follow you there. Well, Eero thought of that, and they just came out with the Eero Outdoor 7. I mounted ours outside in the harsh weather. It's got IP66 rating, which means it can take bad weather and it can take the temperatures on each extreme and operate just as it normally would, which means about 15,000 foot range on this thing. I went to the furthest end of where we live, where I in the past could never get a Wi-Fi signal, or if I did, it was just a blip and it wasn't really useful. And man, this thing was blasting up to 2 gigabits per second all the way on the edge of the property. So when you're doing a renovation at home, think of how you're going to carry your Wi-Fi outside. The cool thing about it, you don't have to plug it in, so you don't have to put an outlet outside. You run Ethernet cable and you use the kind that's PoE, and that means power over Ethernet. It's going to carry the electricity and the signal of the internet wherever you put it. I saved the best for last because you will never, ever want to take a bath or shower the same way again. This is a really cool smart shower controller from Moen. We put it in, and the valves also are something you have to change with it, so it's a big investment. But at the same time, check out how it works. Alexa, turn on the shower. How cool is that? What I also did was hooked it up to the tub, and I figured out just through a test run that it takes 28 minutes to fill our bathtub. So I put in a command that says, hey, fill the tub. And guess what? 28 minutes later, it turns itself off. The tub is up to the top and is just ready to slide on in with the bubbles. And that is how you get connected beyond your wildest imagination at your next house refresh. I have got all kinds of info for you on this podcast. Beyond Connected with Kurt the Cyber Guy Knudsen. You found us here. Kathy, thanks for sending in your video with your question. I hope it's all helpful for you.